Goes, welcome one, welcome all. It is time for, you know it, liftoff. Come on,
9, 8,
countdown with me,
7,
folks.
6,
Come on, we can
5,
do this together.
4, 3,
2,
2,
come on.
1, 0.
Almost there.
Ignition.
Almost there, folks.
Liftoff. Liftoff.
Can you feel it? Can you feel it? Can you feel it? Come on, I can feel it.
Get ready. Hold on to your hats. Strap on your seatbelt. Fasten your seatbelts. Hold on to your hats. Get ready
For the life.
No Name Time
On Vaughn Radio.
It's a show with no name.
Let's go. That's right, amigos. Welcome aboard. Welcome to another exciting edition of The Show with No Name. On Vaughn Radio, ladies and gentlemen, where English is exciting. Oh, yeah. Don't forget, we've got tons of great programs all day long to help you guys learn English, love English, get excited about English, and so much more. Join us every day on our free app where you can listen to the Probo Show with Rob Grams, Richard Vaughn Live, No Excuses with Fitz, This Wacky Show, este programa chiflado. Well, yeah, it's a little bit wacky. Well, just look at the host. Look at your teacher. Chiflado's a good word, wacky. Well, welcome aboard, folks. Whatever floats your boat, we've got something for everybody here on Vaughn Radio. So, welcome back to another exciting edition of The Show with No Name. And don't forget, we have got tons of new shows. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Vaughn Radio proudly presents two brand spanking new shows. You can join Ruby every weekday on her program Speak Up from 3 to 4 p.m. Speak Up is for students who are just getting started and superstars who want to go over the basics. Let Ruby guide you through the English experience on her new program Speak Up on Vaughn Radio from 3 to 4 p.m. And Frankly Speaking, hosted by Chris. This program will be on every evening from 7:30 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. And in Frankly Speaking, Chris Frank will make you feel like you were at the restaurant or bar with him in a totally native conversation. Learn English as you have fun. That's right, with Frankly Speaking. So make sure you check out our two latest programs. You're going to love them. Frankly Speaking with Chris from 7:30 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. And Speak Up with Ruby from 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. I have a feeling, I have a hunch you're going to love these new programs. Exclusively on Vaughn Radio. Don't miss them. That's right, folks. Here on Vaughn Radio, tons of things all the time. We've got special deals. We've got upcoming events. But first, let me give you guys this coming week's question of the week.
question of the week.
That's right, folks. Charge! That's right, it's question of the week here on the show with no name. And as always, well, not always, sometimes it's just, a funny kind of question. But this week, we're going to do some soul searching. And I imagine many of you know your answer already, but I want you to prepare it in your best English possible. Now, the question of the week is, who is your biggest role model and why? That's it. Who is your biggest role model and why? Once you know the answer to that and you feel like you can express it in eloquent English, well then send me a 1-minute voice message, a voice note, introducing yourself. Hey, it's Vero, it's Marta, it's Salva. How's it going? Show with no namers, AA, whatever you want to say. Regarding my role model, my number one role model is George W. Bush. I'm joking. But the most important part isn't who, it's the why. That's what the why is always the important part, right? So why did that person touch your life, or how? Why do you look up to that person and admire them? And when you need that little extra oomph, energía, or that extra inspiration, you think of them. And all of a sudden, you can go the extra mile. Puedes ir esa milla extra, que es una expresión en inglés que significa dar más de lo que se espera de uno. It's very American. Come on, I expect you guys. I can imagine the coach, the football coach, not soccer. Hey man, you guys got to be ready to go the extra mile. You want to make the cut. Buenísima expresión, to make the cut. Dar la talla, estar en el equipo. To make the cut. All right, amigos. So you've got until Thursday afternoon, evening, to send me a 1-minute voice message telling me your biggest role model and why. I've already got my answer, but this is for you guys to practice your English. Really, if you've participated already, well, you're already improving. I can hear it. Especially those of you who participate week after week. Keep it up. Awesome. If you haven't participated, what are you waiting for? I mean, no one's going to make fun of you, not in my class. Aquí no se van a burlar de ti. No way. For trying, I'll kill them. So give it your best shot. Send us a 1-minute voice message and participate in the question of the week. And speaking of participation, let's go with today's pop quiz. Pop quiz. Come on. Pop quiz. Let's go. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Sing it. Can't hear you. Pop quiz. Yeah. Let's go. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. That's right, folks. It is our pop quiz here on the show with no name. And if you love challenges, well, then it's just a few hours, not a few, a little bit over 48 hours away. What am I talking about? Vaughn Radio Trivia Night, baby. Hey, Lara, do you have any plans for November 1st?
Hey, Daddy. Yeah. It's Vaughn Radio Trivia Night, baby.
Where is it taking place?
It's at Real Madrid.
What time does it start?
It's at 8:30. Get there at 8.
And who's hosting this time?
Seriously? Come Come on, Daddy. It's your turn.
Thank God my daughter isn't as forgetful as I am. I'm going to jot it down this time. And so should you. We'll see you for another Vaughn Radio Trivia Night at Roll Madrid, hosted by yours truly, un servidor. I'll see you November 1st at 8:30 p.m. at Roll Madrid for another exciting Vaughn Radio Trivia Night.
Be there or be square, amigos.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Be there or be square. It's official. It's just hours away. And when I mean hours, I mean we're not talking even days anymore because Wednesday is right around the corner. It's November 1st. What a great way to kick off the amazing month of November, which is also the month of my birthday. So if you want to get me an early birthday gift, no, I'm just kidding. Hey, it's up to you. It's up to you. I'm joking. But I do want you know, the best gift would be the best present. Here, I'm going to give you a homophone. The presence that I want is your presence. That's it. Right. La presencia que quiero es los regalos que quiero, que suenan igual en inglés. They're homophones, is your presence. Your magical presence at our Vaughn Radio Trivia Night. I know many of you are going to be there. So many of my colleagues are going to be colleagues. Odio esa palabra. I feel like we're scientists. So many of my great friends are going to be there. And we've got our Vaughn Radio teacher, host, locutor group, and everybody's excited. So a good time is guaranteed, and it's a free event. Oh, and speaking of a free event, so you've got Wednesday, November 1st, you've got that. And then on November 2nd, my friend Dan Feist, another Guidi here in Spain who runs the comedy circuit, has to tell you about a special event on Thursday. So you've got two English events where you can go mix and mingle in Madrid. That's Wednesday, the trivia night, which I know many of you are coming to. And let me have Dan tell you about crack comedy.
Hi, Alberto, and good morning to all your listeners. This is Dan Feist, and I just wanted to let you guys know that this Thursday, November 2nd, at 8:30 p.m., we have another edition of The Crack Comedy. It's a stand-up show in English at a bar called Picnic in Malasaña. This week we have guests from LA and New York, among others. You can find all the details on Instagram at The Crack Comedy or on Facebook. Admission is free. There is a small surcharge on bar service and a 1-drink minimum. We do Thursday shows, we do Friday shows. Why don't you just follow us on socials so you can stay up to date on all the latest events that we're going to have. Thanks a lot. Hope you guys have a wonderful Monday. See you around, Alberto.
All right. So look, that's easy to remember. Both events, 8:30 p.m. One of them is at Roll Madrid. It's on Wednesday, November 1st at 8:30 p.m., and that is the trivia night. And then if you're looking for some fun stand-up comedy with people from all around the world, then Thursday, November 2nd, you've got Bar Picnic Calle Minas. That's number 1 in English, sería 1 Minas Street, pero para no liaros, Calle Minas número 1, Malasaña. And I got to tell you guys something. When I moved here to Madrid, there was not nearly as many options. There weren't as many options as there are now to not just learn English, but to like go out and have fun and do activities in English. And now, like, look at that. That's 2 in a week, 2 big activities, where there are going to be tons of guiris, and I know tons of Spanish speakers who are smart. They say, okay, I could do a Vaughn Town, which there's no, a Vaughn Town, that's a unique experience. But hey, you can have a little mini Vaughn Town for a couple hours and immerse yourself in English. Dan is a great friend of mine. He has worked for Vaughn. He's worked for Buenafuente. I mean, he is truly a talented, gifted dude, and give him all the support. As he said, you can follow them on social media. On Instagram, they're pretty active, and it's Crack Comedy. Just search for Crack Comedy and get ready to laugh your ass off. All right, and speaking of getting ready, it's time for our pop quiz right now. Don't think I forgot about it. It's our pop quiz, and today it's coming from Essential English. This is from our Vaughn Tienda, just one of our many materials here at Vaughn that we have designed and made with TLC, with tender, loving care, con ese toque de cariño, como te hace la sopa tu abuela. That's what we put here. TLC in all of our materials here at Vaughn, whether it's, a meme that we post on social media, which, by the way, follow us on social media, or one of our, most extensive collections. It's got the same TLC, and we're always thinking, is this useful? Is this something that's going to help them not just speak the language, but break down those barriers that are in the way that we all have when we're trying to learn anything new, not just a language. But the thing about language is you have to speak. So you can learn something new without having to speak. And public speaking is the number one phobia in the world. All right, well, let's take a look at something from Essential English. Now, if you have the book, this is 36, page 36. The audio track, you don't have to worry about that because I'm going to play it, is 11. Track 11, it's page 36 in Essential English, which is el inglés imprescindible para situaciones cotidianas. And you've got everything in here. You've got getting directions. You've got at the butcher's, buying clothes, shops, cooking, accessories. And today we're going to take a look at personal items. Well, we're going to take a look at several things. Primero no se dice ítem. It's item in English. We have only several items. Artículos, I think. Solo tres artículos se puede, right? 3 items. I've heard it mispronounced wrong many, many times. So the word is items. And we're going to take a look at personal items today. Another way to say it, belongings, right? Pertenencias. And we're also going to look at whose, el de quién, which even my highest level students tend to have difficulty with this structure. So everybody pay close attention. We're going to learn a lot from this little audio clip here. And then I'm going to give you guys a challenge. I've got a job for you. So you don't have to write anything down or anything like that. Just get ready to understand and comprehend as much as you possibly can. Here we go.
Hey, Natalie, can you help me with this? We have to move our stuff into the new office and the others are on holiday.
Yes, of course. Let's see. Whose car keys are these?
Oh, they're mine. I'll put them in my bag.
Okay, what about the wallet and the lighter? Whose are they?
They're Megan's. Hey, and what about the notebook? Whose is it?
Hey, Richie, is that yours?
No, it isn't. I think it's Helen's.
Ah, okay. Cheers, Richie. What about the diary next to the notebook? Is that hers too?
Yes, it is. Look, it has our name on it. And what about those chargers? Whose are they?
Actually, they're ours. I mean, they're the company's chargers.
Oh, wow. And look at all the stuff on that desk. Whose desk is it?
It's Toby's desk. I'll just put everything in this box and write his name on it.
Translation time.
1. ¿De quién es esta agenda?
Whose diary is this?
2. ¿De quién es ese mechero?
Whose lighter is that?
3. ¿De quién es?
Whose is it?
4. El cargador no es mío, es suyo, de ella.
The charger isn't mine, it's hers.
5. La agenda no es de Colin, es de Kathy.
The diary isn't Colin's, it's Kathy's.
6. Esas son las llaves de Gary.
Those are Gary's keys.
7. No son suyos de ella, son suyos de él.
They're not hers, they're his.
8. ¿Es esa la cartera de Phil o la tuya?
Is that Phil's wallet or yours?
9. No son nuestros, son suyos, de ellos.
They're not ours, they're theirs.
10. Esta caja lleva el nombre de Tom.
This box has Tom's name on it. Practice time.
Pregunta de quién es cada cosa y contesta tu pregunta primero empleando el genitivo sajón y luego sustituyéndolo por el pronombre posesivo correspondiente. 1. ¿Esta cartera? De Helen.
Whose wallet is this? It's Helen's. It's hers.
2. ¿Ese cargador? Tuyo.
Whose charger is that? It's yours.
3. ¿Esa agenda? Mía.
Whose diary is that? It's mine.
4. ¿Esas llaves del coche? De Toby.
Whose car keys are those? They're Toby's. They're his.
5. Estos cuadernos, de nosotros.
Whose notebooks are these? They're ours.
6. Esos pañuelos, de Maggie.
Whose tissues are those? They're Maggie's. They're hers.
7. Estos chismes, de Frank.
Whose stuff is this? It's Frank's. It's his.
8. Estos papeles, míos.
Whose papers are these? They're mine.
9. Esos mecheros, de Richie.
Whose lighters are those? They're Richie's. They're his.
10. Este escritorio, suyo, de ellos.
Whose desk is this? It's theirs.
Aplica lo aprendido en otras situaciones. 1. ¿De quién es la idea?
Whose idea is it?
2. Es la idea de Dylan.
It's Dylan's idea.
3. ¿De quién es aquella tienda?
Whose shop is that?
4. Es la tienda de mi hermana.
It's my sister's shop.
5. Hay muchos trastos en el garaje. ¿Son tuyos?
There's a lot of stuff in the garage. Is it yours?
6. Esta maleta lleva el nombre de Paul.
This suitcase has Paul's name on it.
7. La silla de mi compañero está rota.
My colleague's chair is broken.
8. No puedes leer el diario de tu hija.
You can't read your daughter's diary.
All right, there you go, folks. There you go. Essential English, really valuable lesson there. And it's just a couple minutes, but it reviews one of those structures that, as I said, I've seen the highest level students stumble on. To stumble is to trip. No, siempre me lío. Tropezarse y atropellarse. See, very different, but I mix them. Hey, just so you see, I feel your pain when you're just like, why can I never get that word right? Been there, done that. All right, let's take a look at some personal items and look at whose. We're going to start simple. And at first, we're just going to warm up a little bit over here, all right? So we're just going to warm up. And I want you to warm up aloud. And then you can give me the written one after. But let's warm up with a few. ¿De quién es la agenda? Whose diary is it? Whose diary is it? Or planner. En Estados Unidos, una agenda donde pones tu calendario. That's a planner, right? We use the word agenda, but I think they have a hidden agenda, una agenda oculta, right? A hidden goal. So we do use the word agenda. You'll see the word in English. But normally, it's kind of a false friend because it's a planner or a diary. Now, in the United States, a diary is, Dear Diary, I cried all afternoon because Bobby wouldn't go to the dance with me. That's a diary. Anne Frank, most famous diary ever, right? Okay, ¿de quién es ese mechero? No, vamos con plural. Como acabamos de ver, whose diary is it? ¿De quién es esta? Bueno, this. So you can say, whose diary is it? Whose diary is that? Whose diary is this? Si no sabemos, it, right? Whose diary is it? Vamos con el próximo, pero con plural. ¿De quién son los mecheros? Whose lighters are those? Or are they? Aquellos, right? So you can say these, si son de aquí, those ahí, o they, si no especificamos. Whose lighters are they? ¿Te atreves a ponerlo en indirecto? Do you know whose lighters they are? Oh, no way. Well, así vamos. So practice it, right? And just remember this. Here's the best way I can help you. Whose lo que sea, pero no me pongas da, porque el error is whose the car is it? No. Whose car is it? Quédate con esa. Quédate con whose idea is it. Luego lo pones en pasado. Whose idea was it? Luego volvemos al presente. En plural. Whose ideas are they? Plural en pasado. Whose ideas were they? They weren't my ideas. Do you know whose ideas they were? Indirecta. So that's what we want to do. We want to master the language. Here's your translation. Hay muchos trastos en el garaje. ¿De quién son estos trastos? Okay, so hay muchos trastos en el garaje. ¿De quién son esos o los, si no queremos especificar, trastos. Folks, we've got to go to a quick commercial break. I can't believe it. Time flies when you're having fun. And I hope you guys are having fun. And I hope you'll stick around. Hey, amigos, welcome back. Welcome back to the second part of today's show with no name, where English is exciting. I mean, really think about it. Whatever you're learning, whatever you're trying to get good at, you might as well find the fun in it. Buscar lo divertido. No todo es, even the greatest job in the world, whoever has that, I'm sure there are moments where you're like, oh, God, not this part again. Because anything can get routine. And it's our job to make sure it doesn't get routine as teachers, as students, right? All right, amigos. Welcome back. So many people participating over here. I hope you guys participate on the other shows as much as you do here. But wow, I just got to say, just in general, for all the participation. Are you guys in the Halloween spirit? My daughter is. We've made 5 jack-o'-lanterns so far. Hey, it's fun. And it's a great way to spend some quality time together, to bond, crear vínculos, right? Recuerdos, momentos. Life is all about those little moments here. All right, amigos, welcome back. Welcome back to part 2. What we're going to do is we're going to kick off with the Say What soundbite. Say what? What? That's right, amigos. Oh, today's going to be tough. This person says a lot in about 15 or 20 seconds. This person says a mouthful. Cuando alguien dice muchas palabras, you said a mouthful. Una boca llena. All right, amigos. So as always, you have 2 different jobs here, really. Your first one is to sum up what you heard in your own words in your best English possible. Part 1. Part 2. Can you write down everything this person says? You have 4 chances. So hopefully you'll be able to get it after the 3rd or 4th go. If not, we always solve it at the end of the show. So don't worry, but this is just a way to hear all kinds of different accents and things from pop culture, because as you guys know, they're always famous people or from a famous series. Last week we heard Bart Simpson. I mean, you need to know Bart Simpson's voice in English. And I would hate to think that the first place you find it or discovered it was here on the show with no name, and that you had never heard his voice in English before, or her voice, I should say. Well, the voice actress. All right, amigos, let's go with today's Say What soundbite. I'm going to give it to you twice now, and then I want to hear what you heard in your best English. Is everybody ready? Here we go.
I don't understand something here. I practiced all week until I limped home and I gotta soak my feet. I spent $18.50 on a monkey suit. Two nerds come to my room and lock me in my bathroom, start calling me names. Sherlock Holmes here chases me and starts yelling at me.
Oh, my goodness. I told you, though. I tried to warn you. Okay, or to forewarn. To warn is previsar. To forewarn is preavisar. Prevenir, I think, is the word you say. I tried to forewarn you. I said, guys, tread with caution. Pisad con recelo. No, tread with caution. All right, let me give it to you a second time, and then we'll discuss what you guys heard. And hopefully you always do a great job in this section. Here we go. The second listen of today's Say What soundbite.
I don't understand something here. I practiced all week until I limped home and I gotta soak my feet. I spent $18.50 on a monkey suit. Two nerds come to my room and lock me in my bathroom, start calling me names. Sherlock Holmes here chases me and starts yelling at me.
All right, there you go. Very, very famous character from American TV over there. All right, amigos. Well, what do we got to do? Let's see. Oh, right. We've got to check out your answers in today's pop quiz. I see a lot of people are participating, so that's great news. Let's go on over to our virtual classroom and see who's on board. David's in the house, front row center. What's up, David? He says, good morning, Alberto and mates. Good morning to you, good sir. Salva's in the house. Is Salva in the house? Yeah, Salva's in the house. What's up, Salva? Morning, AA and classmates, he says. We got some superstars who are ready to rock here. Born to Iron Man. Speaking of, he says, morning, amigos. What's up? Born to Iron Man. Marta in the house. She says, good morning, everyone. Hello, Marta. Good morning to you, lovely Marta. Vero, speaking of lovely show with no namers, she says, good morning, beautiful people around the universe. Happy birthday to my cousin Eva and my friend Manuel Quinzato. Happy birthday, Eva and Manuel. It's true. You know what? I'm having a flashback here, Vero. You are the person on this planet with the most friends. I am dead serious. My mom is a close second. Well, happy birthday, Eva and Manuel. What's up, Kubla? He says, morning, marvelous peers. What do you get when you cross a teacher and a vampire? Lots of blood tests. Good one. And very apropos for the Halloween season tonight is Mischief Night or Goosey Night or Devil's Night. And for some people, when I was in high school, this was bigger than Halloween because we went out there and we raised hell. La liábamos. Okay, with toilet paper and shaving cream. But yeah, tonight, Mischief Night. I remember when I was young, my mom's like, you're not going out. Too many people vandalizing. And some people go too far, as with everything. That happens even at the supermarket. Somebody, okay, guy, you cut 3 people. Now you went too far, right? So, blood tests. I love it. Blood tests. Test es un examen, pero also a blood test es una prueba. Cuando te miran la sangre, te hacen pruebas. So, nice. Wait, is this mic working? Testing. 1, 2, 3. Right back at you, Kubla. Testing. Probando. Salva says, Salva. I love that you're talking about yourself in the third person. Salva's going to take part in the question of the week. Well, Alberto's very happy to read that comment. So great, Salva. You've been doing a wonderful job in IMO, in my opinion. And I think everybody will agree with me there. There's Marisol. to brighten our day, alegrarnos, o decimos hacer más brillante, to brighten our day. She says, good morning there. What's up? She says, I met an old friend on the street the other day, and I think she gave me the elbow because it looked like she was trying to avoid talking to me. Have a good Monday. Wow, Marisol, sorry to hear that. So the expression is, your friend gave you the cold shoulder. Pasó de ti, te ninguneó. I think would be, no? Pasó olímpico. I love that one. Le dije a mi mujer, I go, she passed Olympically of him. And she's like, ya no se creen mis tonterías. So she's like, se dice she passed Olympically? I'm like, no. Pasó olímpicamente de él. I love it. You guys have some really funny idiomatic expressions in Spanish. Man, I pass Olympically of you. It sounds like, you're getting ready for the big game, So, Marisol, sorry to hear your friend gave you the cold shoulder. Her loss, como decimos, su pérdida. That's her loss. Tough titties, tough toenails. Sí, es como ajo y agua. Tough titties, así es la vida. Tough titties. Titties son tetitas. And toenails son las uñas de los dedos del pie. Es porque los dos tienen T's. Let's see, we got some people participating in our pop quiz. The first person is Vero. She is vivacious Vero. Vivacious, lively Vero. Estaba buscando muchas V's ahí. Wonderful, if you're German. Wonderful, wunderbug. She says, there's a lot of stuff in the garage. Whose stuff is it? You nailed it, Vero. Yeah. Give it up for your classmate, Vero. Yeah. Un italiano, Vero. Io sono un italiano. I'm playing with your name a lot today, Vero. But you knocked it out of the park. There's a lot of stuff in the garage. Whose stuff is it? Y acuérdate, if you're Britannico, you say, there's a lot of stuff in the garage. We say garage. They say garage. Is there anything left in the garage? So excellent job, Vero, knocking it out of the park. Let's see. Kubla taking a stab at it, too. He says, there are a lot of stuff in there. That's why I chose this one, by the way. Stuff is always singular. Even though you're talking about one, it's uncountable. Whose stuff is this? You don't say, I have 3 stuffs, or there are a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff. Incontable. I know in Spanish, trastos, right? Whatever the word is I used, es como you say words that are countable. I have a news. Tengo una noticia. No. I have some news in English. So I think there are probably about 10 or 15 of those that are countable in one language and uncountable in another. But if you learn all 10 of them, check it off the list, baby. So there's a lot of stuff in the garage. Whose stuff is it or is that? Siempre en el singular, porque es incontable el stuff. And let's say this. I want everybody to say this aloud with me. The staff, the staff has a lot of stuff. The staff, la plantilla, has a lot of stuff. All right, let's see. Chris Valrol taking a stab at it. She says, morning, AA and mates. Really looking forward to seeing you, Chris. Just a couple days away. She says, there are tons of stuff. Remember, there's tons of stuff in the garage. O garage. Whose junk is this? Junk es otra que tenemos que poner siempre. Pero bueno, ya sabemos, no es junks, no es stuff. Son incontables. Whose junk is this? Junk puede ser un trasto o 1000. Right? ¿Quieres ponerlo? Porque luego mis alumnos dicen, quiero ponerlo. Okay, piece of junk, piece of news. But it's not normal. I would never say, I have a piece of news for you. I sound like, what? My friends would be like, why? What do you mean a piece of news? You have some news, right? Well, tell me the news. So interesting stuff. Just be careful. Be careful when it's countable in one language and uncountable in another. Let's see, but great job though, guys. Wonderful job. Let's see, we've got our Say What soundbite over here now, and we've got a bunch of people participating. Let's see. We've got Kubla. He says, I heard a pissed off American. Great word, cabreado. A pissed off American blasting somebody. Sounds like a native saying that right there. Blasting, putting them on blast, como gritándole, echando una bronca que flipas. Great one. For the former has been getting ready and spent some money to no avail. Hasta más. No, que no le salió, no le dio cuentas. To no avail. No era fructífero. Great one, Kubla. Besides, he was referred to indelicately. Wonderful job. Chris says, I heard an angry character. I guess it's from a series. He's yelling. I don't really know why, but he said 2 nerds were in his room and he spent the weekend practicing something. Well, Chris, that's the gist of it. Great job. That is the gist of it. And we'll see if you guys can figure it out. You're going to hear it an additional 2 times. As you guys know, you hear it a total of 4 times. So hopefully you guys will be able to figure it out. But right now, we've got to move on, my amigos. You know why? Because it's time for Spelling Bee.
Spelling Bee. Spelling Bee. Spelling Bee. Spelling Bee. Spelling Bee.
That's right, folks. That's right. It is our Spelling Bee here on the show with no name. But just in case you haven't heard it, I wanted to tell you about the special deal we've got going on with Vaughn Groups. Do you know about Vaughn Groups? Well, I'm going to tell you all about them. They are group English classes that you can do via video conference or in person. And the good news is you can start whenever you want. And you can keep the same timetable, teacher, and classmates throughout the whole course. And the best part, there's no strings attached. Sin compromiso. And if you act now, you can get a 5% discount for paying up front. And if you stick with the course for 6 months, you'll get a 50% discount in June. Wow, what a deal! As if you needed more reasons to learn English with Vaughn. Check out our Vaughn Groups. Have fun and make friends as you learn English. Sign up now while there are still spots available. Call us 911-385831. Or you can go to our website, grupovaughn.com. And don't forget to follow us on social media and find out if Vaughn Groups are for you. That's right, folks. It's grupovaughn.com. And if you're following on social media, then you will be in the know. All right, folks. This is round 1 of today's Spelling Bee, and I want all of these words to be capitalized. Good luck. I am going to fly through these. The first one is MERCURY space THEATRE. The second one is ORSON space WELLES. The next one is H period G period space WELLS. The fourth one is MARTIAN space G-R-O-V-A-S-I-O-N. The fifth one is G-R-O-V-E-R' space M-I-L-L, comma, space N-J. And the last one is J-O-H-N space H-O-U-S-E-M-A-N. There you go, folks. And here's a little clue. Maybe you'll recognize it.
We are bringing you an eyewitness account of what's happening on the Wilmuth Farm, Grover's Mill, New Jersey. We now return you to Carl Phillips at Grover's Mill.
Ladies and gentlemen, Ladies and gentlemen, here I am, back of a stone wall that adjoins Mr. Wilmuth's garden. From here, I get a sweep of the whole scene. I'll give you every detail as long as I can talk and as long as I can see. More state police have arrived. They're drawing up a cordon in front of the pit. About 30 of them. No need to push the crowd back now. They're willing to keep their distance. The captain's conferring with someone. Can't quite see who. Oh, yes, I believe it's Professor Pearson. Yes, it is. Now they've parted, and the professor moves around one side, studying the object, while the captain and two policemen advance with something in their hands. I can see it now. It's a white handkerchief tied to a pole. Flag of truce. If those creatures know what that means, what anything means. Wait a minute, something's happening. A humped shape is rising out of the pit. I can make out a small beam of light against a mirror. What's that? There's a jet of flame springing from that mirror, and it leaps right at the advancing men. It strikes them head on. Lord, they're turning into flames. Now the whole field's caught up by the woods, the cars, the gas tanks, and the automobiles spreading everywhere. Coming this way now, about 20 yards to my right.
Ladies and gentlemen, due to circumstances beyond our control, we are unable to continue the broadcast from Grover's Mill. Evidently, there's some difficulty with our field transmission. However, we will return to that point at the earliest opportunity. In the meantime, we have a late bulletin from San Diego, California. Professor Indelkoffer, speaking at a dinner of the California Astronomical Society, expressed the opinion that the explosions on Mars are undoubtedly nothing more than severe volcanic disturbances on the surface of the planet. We continue now with our piano interlude.
All right, there you go, folks. War of the Worlds. That's right. Today in 1938, Orson Welles broadcasted a radio adaptation, of H.G. Wells' War of the Worlds. And you just heard it over there. And ladies and gentlemen, it looks like we've got the first person to take a stab at today's spelling bee is Born to Iron Man. The first one is correct. The second one is correct. The third one's correct. The fourth, the fifth. Well, the fifth is incorrect, but I didn't tell you capital, so that's my fault. So I'm going to give it to you. So, ladies and gentlemen, Born to Iron Man. Also, Kubla looks right to me as well. So, wonderful job, fellas. All right, well, this is round two. The first one is MERCURY space THEATRE. The second one is ORSON space WELLES. The third one is H period capital G. Well, both capitals, right? Capital H period, capital G period, space WELLS. The fourth one, MARTIAN space INVASION. The fifth one, or second to last one, is GROVEROND apostrophe S space MILL, comma, space, capital N, capital J. And the last one is JOHN, space, HOUSEMAN. All right. So that, I can't go slower than that. But ladies and gentlemen, we've got some more students who are figuring it out. Chris Valrol joins our spelling bee champions in the winner's circle. Top of the Pops. Top of the Pops was a radio TV show where they introduced like new groups. And back in the day, it used to be an expression. It's antiquated now. Oh man, the show with no name is Top of the Pops. Lo más. But right now, we've got to take a quick commercial break, folks. The good news. We'll be right back in a jiffy. Yeah, in the blink of an eye. In 2 shakes of a lamb's tail. What do you want? More idiomatic expressions? Wow. That's 3 bonus ones right before our commercial break. And folks, I can't believe it, but we are halfway through today's show. We have so much to do. So, if I were you guys, I wouldn't even think of going anywhere. Stick around. Hey, amigos, welcome back. Welcome back to part 3 of today's show with no name. I can't believe how time flies when we're having fun. I hope you guys are having fun. I hope you're learning. And I hope you're ready for some more. We've got so many more challenges coming your way. We've got homophones. Name that movie. Double Trouble. Famous birthdays. Name that lyric. Wow. We really do have a lot of stuff to do. We still have to solve our Say What soundbite as well. And just a quick reminder, show with no namers who live in Bilbao, Valladolid, Zaragoza, Barcelona, Valencia, Santander, Vigo, or Madrid. Well, you guys have no excuses, as my buddy Fitz's program is called. Stop in. No strings attached. We're not going to say, you got to buy something. In fact, that's illegal, I think. You can't leave until you buy something. No. Introduce yourself. Hey, listen, my name is blah, blah, and I'm a Vaughn radio listener. I've been listening for this long. We'd love to hear from you. You know, for us, it's great when we hear everybody's success stories. Alberto, I got that dream job finally after I did the Vaughn Masters. Well, you know why? Because Vaughn, not just the company, but the guy, Richard Vaughn, is a true master. That's right. And the good news is he was on my podcast with me recently. We were looking at American history. And by the way, if you haven't checked whatever podcast platform you listen to, you'll notice you got 2 episodes this week. So I made the bonus episode available for everybody because it was the last episode of season 5. So check it out if you haven't. It's American History with the one and only Richard Vaughn. It's one of the newest countries in our Earth's existence. It has snowballed into a behemoth at breakneck speed. It's no secret. In my homeland, we are master marketers, among other things. Some refer to this popular place as the home of the American dream, or the land of milk and honey, the land of the free, the home of the brave, where freedom rings from sea to shining sea. We'll learn the ins and outs of American history with Richard Vaughn on this week's episode of FYI. Welcome to For Your Info. So that's right, folks. Check it out. It's this week's episodes of FYI. You got 2. Even if you're not in my community, they're available to everybody this week, just as a way to say thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. FYI has been charting. To be charting es estar en las listas. Now, Show with No Name was, and it's been for a long time, but FYI was, well, we're on our 6th season now. We're going into our 6th season, and it is constantly on the charts, not just in Spain, but also over in Argentina. And I can't thank you guys enough. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Show with No Namers and FYIers alike. And now it's time for Homophones on the Show with No. Homophones, homophones on the Show with No Name. It's homophones time, cause homophones rhyme. They sound the same on the Show with No Name. The Show with No Name. Homophones on the Show with No Name. Cause homophones time, cause homophones rhyme. They sound the same on the Show with No Name. 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 Show with No Name. Show with No Name. The Show with No Name. That's right, amigos. That's right. It's homophones only on the Show with No Name. And let's see if you guys recognize these words over here. And then I want to know if the words sound exactly the same or not. The first word is a kind of fabric. Okay. It's a kind of fabric that sometimes you can see through. Es transparente. Transparente. I always know. ¿Tiene I esa palabra o no? ¿Transparente o transparente? Transparente. Yes, cine. I think. Bueno, I'm not here to teach you Spanish. I'm here to teach you English. So the first word, you call it encaje o algo de encaje. Okay. También decimos es el cordón del zapato. So yo te digo, si te digo tienes los cordones o el cordón, porque lo quiero en singular, desatado, how would I say that? Okay. So the word is encaje, if we're talking about a kind of fabric, tela, marinera. And the other one is cordón. También es atarse el cordón, right? También es envenenar algo con algo. So we'll take a look at this in a minute. But, whoa, pretty rich word. I didn't realize it was such a rich word. And the second word is the third person of the verb to place something horizontally. Extender, poner. Entonces, si yo te digo, él pone la mesa, en inglés británico, en inglés americano es otra palabra. Ahora lo vemos. Él pone la mesa todas las noches. En inglés británico, es esa palabra. O ponlo, extiéndelo, ¿no? En la mesa. All right. And in third person. So the first word is, are you ready? The first word, again, is encaje. Cordón, nudo, atarse, los cordones. And the second one is the third person of the verb to place horizontally. Extender o poner. What are those two words? and do those two words sound exactly the same or not. Also, I'm going to give you your Say What soundbite now for the third time.
I don't understand something here. I practiced all week until I limp home and I gotta soak my feet. I spent $18.50 on a monkey suit. Two nerds come to my room and lock me in my bathroom, start calling me names. Sherlock Holmes here chases me and starts yelling at me.
All right. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. You'll get one more listen over there, and we'll see if you guys can figure it out. Speaking of figuring it out, let's see how you did on the homophones. I've given you a couple minutes to think it through. To think it through is darle unas vueltas. And the first person to participate is Daniela. She's been kicking butt and taking names. And Daniela says the correct words, but te falta una T ahí. Se te ha colado, eh? I'm going to let it go this time because normally Daniela is pretty thorough. Because you're saying it like a la española. Aren, they aren't homophones. And you want esa T hay que rematarla. They aren't. Right? Yo sé que I know it was a typo over there. So Daniela says that they aren't homophones. Let's see. Kubla says they don't sound the same. And Kubla, you've dotted your I's and crossed your T's, as you always do. I expect nothing less of you. Lupe says the words are and they don't sound alike. So right now it seems pretty unanimous here, huh? All right. Let's say the two words, and then you guys can really tell me. The first word is lace. She was wearing a lace teddy. A teddy es estos cosas para dormir que son como muy cortitos. Teddy, I don't know how you say this vocabulary. So she was wearing a teddy made out of lace, or directamente a lace teddy, or a lace bra, whatever, lace, de encaje. Okay, lace. It's usually associated with a sexual thing in some cases because it is see-through, right? You can see through it in many cases. So lace. Also, your shoelace is untied. Lace it. Okay, you have to lace your shoes, or else your shoes are going to come flying off when you're running. So tie your lace. Ahora, en plural, laces. Dos sílabas, fíjate. So one shoelace, one lace, two laces. Ahora, encaje es incontable. Pero si hablamos de un cordón, ya es contable, okay? So again, context is the key there. Also, man, yesterday, I totally blacked out. I had one drink. I went to the club with my friends. Me fui a la discoteca con los colegas. I had one drink, and I was totally dizzy. I was totally drowsy. I think my drink was laced with something. Somebody laced my drink. This drink is laced. Mezclado, envenenado, contaminado. To lace with something. Okay? ¿Qué es? Espolvorar. Piénsalo. Lo que hace un cordón va entre, ¿no? Como se interlaza con ello. Kind of makes sense. This drink is laced. I wouldn't touch it. Somebody has been lacing their drinks because he wants to see your lace negligee. Lace. Don't be lazy. No, that's lazy. Okay, so lace is the first word. Say it with me. Es ese pura y dura. Lace. And the second one, he lays the table every weekend. He lays. We say to set the table, poner la mesa en mi país. But the British say he lays the table. So he lays the lace tablecloth, mantel. So he lays the lace tablecloth on the table. Otra vez. He usually lays the lace tablecloth on the table. They are not homophones. Great job, amigos. Wonderful job. And just here's a little lesson for you. Lie versus lay. Hasta los guiris no lo controlamos. ¿Eh? Okay, los profes sí. But I mean, a normal, everyday Joe Schmo doesn't know the difference between lie and lay, and doesn't need to, because, again, native speakers don't have a problem understanding each other. So even if they make a grammatical mistake, according to Cambridge, they're not making a mistake because they understand each other in that town, right? And you'll hear them. It's like the laísmos in the end. People, the language kind of adapts, and things that weren't correct are now correct. English, though, is a lot more flexible, I believe. We don't have a RAE. We don't need some board to say, okay, we'll vote this one. We're not going to vote the other one. No offense, RAE. I get what you're doing. You want to preserve the language, but you can't try and control language. And language is a living thing. Don't try and put it in a cage and give it rules. Okay, I understand from a purist standpoint, but that's the boring part. The part is how new words come about, how it's like, we talk about the stars and new stars being born. Well, new words are being born every day, and that's exciting. And I don't need a board of some, stuffed shirts over there. Gente super mojigato, like, bueno, técnicamente la E de la... Sit down. Siéntate un ratín. So lie versus lay, real simple. I lie down when I'm tired. Could you please lay that on the table? So you don't lay. I can't lay myself. You have to lay something else. So lie, you do on your own. Okay? So I think I'm going to go lie down. Could you lay the blanket on the bed for me? See the difference with the direct object there. So, folks, little things, but even native speakers, as I say, get mixed up with these. But not you guys. You nailed it in today's homophones. Great job. Let's check out our spelling bee. As I said, we were taking a look at some stuff over here from War of the Worlds. Guerra de los Mundos? No, de las Galaxias. That's a different thing. Star Wars. All right. The first one was the Mercury Theater. And what is the Mercury Theater? Well, it's a theater that was poisonous. Mercurio. Okay, it's also a planet. I guess it's named after the planet. Well, the Mercury Theater was the radio production company, and they were a troupe of actors, improvisers, and they were called the Mercury Theater on the Air. And they created these radio plays. I love these, by the way. I love little radio. I mean, what is a podcast in the end? With some sound effects, you can really take somebody to a different place. You tell them a story. You set the right mood, el ambiente correcto. So, yes. And this was a Halloween episode of the series that aired. And it was read by Orson Welles, the famous Orson Welles. Rosebud. Citizen Kane, Ciudadano Kane. ¿Qué dice aquí? ¿Dice Rosebud? ¿Qué dice en español? Su palabra, su recuerdo. Rosebud. In English is Rosebud. Orson Welles, who was reading an adaptation of a piece by H.G. Wells. No relation, because Orson Welles, if you did the spelling bee correctly, has an extra E in it. And Wells, H.G. Wells, the writer, well, his is Wells como Pozos, sin la E. The fourth word is Martian invasion. What's the planet called? Is it called Marte or Mars? Remember the movie Mars Attacks? That was a funny one. Well, we've always, since we were kids, Marvin the Martian, we've been fascinated with aliens and Martians and all of that jazz. So Martian invasion, I got that one. I chose that one because of the pronunciation. Marciano, Martian invasion. The fifth one, Grover's Mill, New Jersey, where it supposedly took place, this invasion. And last but not least, John Houseman. John Houseman, a very famous producer, director, responsible for many of Hollywood's great movies, including Citizen Kane. He was collaborating with him, and The Paper Chase, The Blue Dahlia. So definitely a heavyweight in the world of production, acting, right? So John Houseman, there's actually a theater in New York City, if you've been there, in the Broadway district, and it's called the John Houseman Theater. So there you go, folks. And I gave you a little clip of War of the Worlds before. You know why it was so believable? Because what happened was they really did, like, we interrupt this radio broadcast. So they were in the middle of a concerto with, you heard it. Oh, the conductor, el director de orquesta tal, está dirigiendo la tal. And then like, we interrupt this radio broadcast for. So, they didn't normally do that. And that's kind of, it was that little thing that kind of made people say, wait a second, they don't just interrupt a show for no reason. So it made it very, very believable. And now we do stuff like that, but we do that on April Fool's Day. You call it Día de los Inocentes. For us, it's April 1st. Es otro día. El vuestro es otro día, si no me equivoco. April Fool's Day is April 1st for us. All right, amigos. So as always, learning from some pop culture. And speaking of pop culture, it's time for Name That Movie. Name That Movie. That's right, amigos. It's Name That Movie, only on the show with no name, and I freaking love this movie. This movie is absolutely awesome, probably in my top 10. I know I've been saying that a lot lately, but also I've been choosing some pretty good movies here. All right, here we go. I'll give you guys the trailer, and we'll see if you guys can figure it out. Let me set the tone, as you know. I'm not Orson Welles or John Houseman. They never taught English. All right, here we go. The sole survivor of a peer shootout tells the story of how a notorious criminal influenced the events that began with 5 criminals meeting in a seemingly random police lineup. Now, esta o lo sabes o no. A lineup is when they put all the criminals against the wall and you have to ID. To ID is to identify. You have to ID somebody. So, the sole survivor. Sole es único. The sole survivor es lo mismo que decir the only survivor of a peer shootout. Kubla used the word peer before, but a homophone for it. So you've got P-E-E-R, which is mis iguales, and then peer, P-I-E-R, which is the one here, que es muelle o puerto. So a peer shootout, escucha, that's a shootout, tells the story of how a notorious criminal influenced the events that began with 5 criminals meeting in a seemingly random police lineup. So they were brought together by the police. Wow. All right. Do I have to say the word? Kaiser Sose. Who's Kaiser Sose? Now, if you don't know it now, you're definitely not going to know it. Ladies and gentlemen, somebody's got it. It's Chris Valrol. Nice job, Chris. The movie is The Usual Suspects. Okay, Chris, and all the rest of you movie buffs, here's a trivia question for you. The title of this movie came from the line, a famous line from another movie. Do you know which one? Chris, I think you might know this one. So, this movie's called The Usual Suspects. ¿Te suena de otra película? Que es una frase famosa que luego acabó siendo el título de esta película. Let's see if you know that. And in the meantime, let's take a look at this awesome scene from this amazing movie. Now, the idea for the movie started with the lineup. It all started with the lineup, right? The criminal lineup. And they shot it for a budget of $6 million, which is nothing. It's pennies to make a movie. And they shot it in 35 days, and it's a masterpiece. I mean, you've got Kevin Spacey, you've got Guy Pearce, you've got Kevin Pollak. I mean, Benicio del Toro. It's a who's who of amazing actors. And the script is really good as well. The Usual Suspects, it's called. And Verbal, who's played by Kevin Spacey, Aturdido, says, that guy is tense. Ese tipo está tenso. He says, tension is a killer. La tensión te mata. It's a killer. I used to be in a barbershop. Yo antes estaba in a barbershop quartet. Los que, hello, hello, hello. These barbershop quartets, because they used to hang out by the barbershop. And he goes, I used to be in a barbershop quartet in Skokie, Illinois. No decimos Illinois, sino Illinois. The baritone was this guy named Kip Diskin. Big fat guy. I mean, like orca fat. Te suena orca? Yeah. A whale. It's a killer whale. He was so stressed in the morning. Estaba tan estresado por las mañanas. And then Dave says, Verbal, you know we're trying to help you, right? He's not giving them any information, basically. And the police officer says, you know we're trying to help you. Que queremos ayudarte, ¿no? And Verbal says, sure. And I appreciate that. Y lo agradezco. And I want to help you, Agent Kujan. I like cops. Me gustan los polis. I would have liked to have been a Fed myself. Me gustaría haber sido un federal yo mismo. Work for an agency, an alphabet agency, as we call them. And he says, Verbal, you're not telling us everything. I know you know something. And Verbal says, I told the DA everything I know. The district attorney, el fiscal del distrito. I told the DA everything I know. And Dave says, Verbal, I know you like Keaton. And I know you think he's a good man. Sé que te cae bien Keaton. Y crees que es un buen hombre. And Verbal says, I know he was good. Sé que era bueno. And Dave says, he was a corrupt cop. Era un policía corrupto. He was a corrupt cop. And Verbal says, sure, 15 years ago, but he was a good thief. Pero era buen ladrón. Anyway, the cops wouldn't let him go legit. No le dejaban hacer las cosas legales. And then he says, Dean Keaton was a piece of shit. Era una escoria. And Verbal says, are you trying to get a rise out of me, Agent Kujan? Estás intentando hacerme estallar. To get a rise out of somebody is to get a reaction. Are you trying to get a rise out of me, Agent Kujan? And Dave says, I just want to hear your story. Solo quiero oír tu historia. And Verbal says, it's all there. May I have a cigarette? ¿Me das un cigarro? May I have a cigarette? And we looked at that word before. Remember, we don't say, he oído gente pedirme fire. Do you have fire? ¿Tienes fuego? How do we say it? You got a light? You got a light? Either way, you shouldn't be smoking. Folks, we've got to go to our fourth and, our third commercial break and come back with the fourth and final part of today's show. So, stick around. Hey, amigos, welcome back. I can't freaking believe it. We are in the fourth and final part of today's show. I hope you guys are going to join us at our trivia night at Roll Madrid, November 1st. And then you've got Crack Comedy. Two amazing events happening in Madrid, amigos. If you can make it, we'd love to see you. And speaking of seeing you, stop by our offices if you're in Bilbao, Valladolid, Zaragoza. What amazing cities, huh? We chose right. Elegimos bien. Zaragoza, Barcelona, Valencia, Santander, Vigo, and Madrid. Now, I don't think... I don't think they chose them because they're beautiful cities. I think they chose them because, well, supply and demand. Había demanda para profesionales que tienen que hablar inglés. Creo que en toda España, en todo el mundo, in the whole wide world. Mi hija le encanta esa. Papi, do you love me more than everybody in the world or in the whole wide world? En el mundo mundial. In the whole wide world. It's kind of a tongue twister, isn't it? All right, folks. Well, remember, after today's show, you've got a lot of amazing shows to help you get excited about English, not just learn English. And they will all put you to the test, especially Ximena's program. It's an appropriate name. Test Your English. All that here on Vaughn Radio, amigos. And right now, it's time for Double Trouble.
Double trouble, baby.
Come on. Sing it. Your turn.
It is.
Whose turn is it? Estábamos mirando el whose.
Double trouble.
¿De quién era el turno? Whose turn was it?
Double trouble. Double trouble. I said double. Double trouble.
That's right, amigos. It's Double Trouble, only on the show with no name. And we'll see. I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to give it to you. And then we'll see if you guys can figure this out or not. I think compared to the ones we've been looking at lately, this is a breeze. Honestly. Pan comido. We've been looking at some really tough ones lately in this section. So let's take a look. No me puedo creer que se pensaban hábiles o suaves, listos, suaves, right? Hábiles por intentar tapar esa fuga de petróleo. Whoa. So, no me puedo creer que se pensaban hábiles, suaves, como, like they were smarter than everybody else. Por intentar tapar esa fuga de petróleo. All right, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. You have to use the same word twice, and good luck. Good luck. Also, I see we've got some winners over here who figured out our trivia. Yes. The title of the movie, The Usual Suspects, comes from a famous line in the movie Casablanca, which came out in 1942. And the line is, round up the usual suspects. Round up, acorrálalos, no, júntalos. Round them up. Okay, round up. No sé cómo se dice esa frase en español, but it's a famous line in American movies. And speaking of movie lines, you better know about some horror movies for my trivia. It's not only horror movies, but it'll definitely get you some extra points. So there you go. Excellent job, Kubla and Chris, for getting our trivia there. Casablanca, 1942. Round up the usual suspects, he says. All right, so Double Trouble. What else? Oh, we need to listen to our Say What soundbite for the fourth time. I don't think anybody's figured it out yet. All right, well, let's see.
I don't understand something here. I practiced all week until I limped home and I gotta soak my feet. I spent $18.50 on a monkey suit. Two nerds come to my room and lock me in my bathroom, start calling me names. Sherlock Holmes here chases me and starts yelling at me.
All right, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. There you go. Hopefully somebody will be able to figure it out. I don't think anybody's gotten it. You guys were on the right track when you told me what you heard, so wonderful job over there. Let's see. Kubla is, let's see. Kubla has taken a stab at our double trouble. He tried it with some different words. And let's see. He says, I can't believe they thought themselves smooth. That's a good word for it. Smooth. For trying to smooth the oil leak. Ooh, you know what? But I would say smooth it over. Añadía over. Como to smooth it over is to fix something, you know, to make it look better. A ver cómo lo ponen aquí, cómo lo traducen. To smooth over. Wait for the situation to smooth over. It's a great word. Emparejar, to make level. Limar asperezas. Suavizar las cosas. Limar asperezas. I didn't know that one. So to smooth things over. Yo pondría el over ahí, which is to conciliate, kind of. I love it, though. It's very creative, Kubla. And it's not the one I'm looking for, but we're on the right track. Smooth, just like the ocean under the moon. It's the sweetest, the emotion that I get from you. Give me your heart, make it real. That song's called Smooth. All right, let's see. Anybody else want to take a stab at it? The good thing is we learned the word to smooth over. Okay. Kubla taking a stab at our say what soundbite. Kubla, it looks right, except for one verb, but great effort. One of your verbs is wrong, but great again. All right, let's see. Chris says, I can't believe they thought themselves skilled. I don't know the second part. Digo, ¿dónde está? Oh, okay, estás diciendo, I don't know the second part. Okay, yo lo estoy leyendo como si fuera la traducción. Okay, so here's another way to say that. Now you can say, I can't believe they thought themselves, o es mucho más natural. I can't believe they thought they were tal. Que se creyeron tal. So I can't believe they thought they were slick. Slick. That's right. And this is a word we use sometimes even jokingly, like when you do something that attracts a lot of attention, you're like, that was really slick. Wow. Now, slick is resbaladizo también. So think about it when we're talking about the second part. Resbaladizo, aceite, petróleo, right? But slick is, let's see, habilidoso, hábil, profesional. He's a slick salesman, right? He's slick at doing something, que tiene mucha práctica, right? He is slick at doing a jump shot. Why? Because he's practiced it. Wow, slick, logrado, impecable, well executed, right? Also, a slick is a patch of spilled petroleum, mancha de petróleo. Think about it. It's an oil. It's a big, slippery, greasy area with oil. So slick. And again, a lot of times when you do something clumsy, torpe, is when your friends are like, nice move, slick. Qué bien. O metes la pata. That was really slick. So se usa también en cuanto a como, un poco como, what's the word I'm looking for? Ironically, right? We say, oh, that was really slick. And sometimes you call somebody, hey, slick. Now, if you call me slick, we're going to have a problem. But there's a famous singer, Grace Slick. You know Grace Slick? Don't you want somebody to love? Don't you need somebody to love? You better find somebody to love. And White Rabbit. And we built this city. We built this city. Oh, man, gotta love her. Grace Slick. And she was slick, definitely. And if your hair is slick, what does that mean? Engominado, no? Tiene mucha, right? Slick is the word we're looking for there. So excellent job again from our amigos. But the translation I've got for you here is, a ver, ¿dónde lo tengo? I can't believe they thought they were slick for trying to cover up. Ahí te doy el verbo tapar. Y una tapadera is a cover up. They said that was a government cover up. Que lo taparon. So se usa como sustantivo y como verbo. They were covering it up. It's a cover up, right? So I can't believe they thought they were slick for trying to cover up the oil slick. That wasn't very slick of them, right? So now that you get the concept behind the word, well, hopefully you'll try and put it into practice. And hey, these are great words or idiomatic expressions that we learn here on the show that you can put into practice when you participate in the question of the week. But right now, it's not time for question of the reek. Question of the reek. Do you know what reek means? Apestar. No, I prefer question of the week, where this week you can tell us about your biggest role model and why. Somebody you look up to, somebody you admire, somebody you want to emulate. All right, amigos. And we've got a lot to celebrate today in famous birthday trivia. That's right, folks. Oh, and there was something I wanted to say before we moved on. I forgot to say it. Don't mix up the word slick, the one we just looked at, S-L-I. O sea, es como lamer con S delante. Don't lick that lollipop. Slick, same sound, okay? But there's another word that's S-L-E-E-K, and that word is sleek. And sleek is elegant. Wow, his new car is sleek. That restaurant is sleek. So the difference, the one we looked at, slick. The one that you could possibly confuse if you mispronounce slick, it'll sound more like sleek. So don't mix those up. And let's move on. Famous birthdays. Now, we said we've got some awesome famous birthdays today. I can't remember their names. Let's see if we've got them over here, if I can find the comment. Eva and Manuel are celebrating a birthday today. So let's send them some birthday love.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. We love you.
I don't think you can get a cuter birthday greeting than that. So happy birthday to our amigos. Well, I should say Vero's amigos, who are also our amigos as well. And don't forget to let me know when you've got a birthday coming up, because we will definitely sing to you and send you lots of love. And let's see who's celebrating a birthday today. Number one, this person was born in 1957. An American actor and producer. He's been in over 80 films. So more than or over es más común porque es más corto. He's been in over 80 films. He was in A Few Good Men, and it's not Tom Cruise or Jack Nicholson. Uy, mes, ahí ya. What a great movie, huh? A Few Good Men. Speaking of movie lines, you want the truth? You can't handle the truth. Tú no puedes aguantar la verdad. You can't handle the truth. That's pretty crazy, huh? You want the truth? You can't handle the truth. We live in a world that has walls, and those walls needed to be guarded by men with guns. Who's going to do it, Lieutenant? You? Oh, sorry. I just got all excited. Isn't Jack Nicholson awesome? I mean, the movie's great. It's Aaron Sorkin, by the way, the guy who wrote many, many famous The West Wing, I think, and many other things. But if you haven't seen A Few Good Men in English, you're missing some of the greatest performances ever. Jack Nicholson, when he's on the stand, El Estrago, I think you say, that is brilliance. It is, I mean, now it's even used like in everyday vernacular. So somebody says, you know what I want? I want the truth. You can't handle the truth. You can't ask for the truth without somebody giving you the old Jack Nicholson line. You can't handle the truth. And sure, Tom Cruise plays like this, novice lawyer, and great. Oh, what a great story, and a great, very well acted as well. He was also in Grumpy Old Men, Grumpy, Gruñón, Cascarrabias, and the sequel, Grumpier Old Men. He was in The Usual Suspects. He was also in Martin Scorsese's Casino, also in End of Days, and so much more. I mean, let's put it this way. Over 80 films, and I would say at least 40 of them are just classics. So you might know this guy and not know his name. He's that kind of actor where it's not like, it's not The Rock, Dwayne Johnson. But when you see his face, you're like, oh, yeah, this guy, he's great. Number 2, she was born in 1939. Her last name means slippery. It also, if oil spills somewhere, we call it an oil. We said her name in Double Trouble just moments ago. So if you were paying attention, then you are definitely going to know who this is. Oh, and her first name is Gracia. Okay, la gracia de Dios, for example. Also, it's when somebody tells you, say her first name, que era el nombre de mi abuela, es bendice la comida. So I just laid the table, lo vimos antes, I just set the table, diría yo, and now she's going to say, So this person's name, both parts, can teach us some English. And she was the singer of Jefferson Starship and Jefferson Airplane and Starship. Those were different incarnations of the group that originally started as Jefferson Airplane. White Rabbit, what a song. If you go chasing rabbits, what a voice she had. And man, just amazing. And also Somebody to Love. Also, We Built This City. Nothing's gonna stop us now. And if this world runs out of lovers, we'll still have each other. Nothing's gonna stop us. Is anybody else going back to like the movie Mannequin? ¿Os acordáis de esa película? All right, I already told you her last name. I said her first and last name less than 10 minutes ago. And last but not least, this guy's huge, and he definitely was huge, as Arthur Fonzarelli, the Fonzie, on the show Happy Days. It was an American sitcom that was extremely popular, and he was catapulted to superstardom, playing this, kind of like tough-talking Brooklyn guy, like, hey, it's the Fonzarelli. Hey, yo, whoa. The funny thing is, he's not Italian, he's Jewish, but he played. The thing is, Italians and Jews in New York, we understand each other. It's true. So, all right, we've got a winner. Wow, how fast she is. Give it up for Chris Valrol. Number 1, Kevin Pollak. Actor Kevin Pollak. Number 2, Grace Slick. And number 3, Henry Winkler. Henry Winkler, who played the Fonz, Arthur Fonzarelli. And let's go. This is the Fonz in today's Say What soundbite. And this is him. He says, hey, I don't understand something here. You got to listen to his Brooklyn kind of accent. Hey, oh, hey, what are you doing? Hey. That's the sound, right? So you got to capture that essence. I don't understand something here. No entiendo algo por aquí. He says, I practiced all week. So, Kubla, wasn't I packed all week? I practiced all week. Practiqué toda la semana. Until I limp. Hasta que cojeo, right? And I got to soak my feet. Tengo que dejar los pies en remojo. I spent $18.50 on a monkey suit. un mono. You say the same thing, the blue monkey suit, right? Two nerds come to my room, dos pardillos come to my room and lock me in my bathroom, encierran en mi baño, and they start calling me names. Y me empiezan a insultar. Sherlock Holmes here chases me and starts yelling at me. Sherlock Holmes aquí me empieza a perseguir, me empieza a gritar. So here he is, the classic character, the Fonz.
I don't understand something here. I practiced all week until I limped home and I gotta soak my feet. I spent $18.50 on a monkey suit. Two nerds come to my room and lock me in my bathroom, start calling me names. Sherlock Holmes here chases me and starts yelling at me.
All right. Great job, by the way, to all of you. Wonderful job. I've got a little something special for you today, a little story that I'm going to share with you about a bus stop. And bus stops are great places, but they're usually great places for horror stories as well. How many horror stories have taken place at a bus stop? So we're going to listen to one today. And as always, guys, I don't want you to take notes or do anything like that. All I want you to do is listen and see how much of it you get, and also to see if it freaks you out or creeps you out. Si te asusta, si te da miedo o no. So this is called The Bus Stop.
This happened when I was 17 years old. I would go to the gym 3 to 4 times a week and ride the bus home. It was a Sunday and I had just missed my bus, so I had to wait longer for another one. I would have called my parents, but they were out for the evening, and taxis charged more, so I decided to sit and wait in the bus shelter. It was a cold night and snow had just started peppering the ground. My bus was taking longer than usual, so I got my phone out and listened to some music. Almost an hour had passed. It was freezing and I hadn't seen anyone at all. That was until I noticed something out of the corner of my eye. It was a creepy guy dressed in thick layers of clothing, walking slowly towards me. I knew staring at him would draw more attention, so I just focused on my phone. He sat down at the other end of the shelter and just stared at me. There was something off about him. He seemed like he was either drunk or on drugs. He then asked,
"When is the bus due?"
I took out my earphones and said, "I think it's delayed because of the snow." He stared at me for a while, then started mumbling to himself. He was really starting to creep me out, so I pretended to be on my phone. After a couple of minutes, I took another look. He'd moved closer to me. I looked away for a second, then heard the sound of him sliding even closer. I turned to him and said, "You okay there?" He stared at me with glossy eyes, lifted his arm, and leaned towards me. Immediately, I grabbed my bag and ran as he fell to the ground. I ran down the road, trying my hardest not to look back. I kept going until I got to the next bus stop. I turned around to check to see if he was there. He was gone, so I went to sit down. Feeling relieved, I rested my head on the back of the glass and waited for the bus. I jolted and turned around to see the same guy staring at me through the glass.
What the hell is wrong with you?
Then he started walking around the shelter towards me.
"I'm warning you, stay back!"
I yelled in panic as I was backing up. I wanted to run, but I left my bag in the shelter and I couldn't leave without it. Suddenly, the man leaped at me and I quickly moved out of the way. He fell to the ground face first. I froze in shock, then noticed the blood coming from his face. I tried to get a response out of him, but nothing worked. I called the police and paramedics and they arrived shortly after. I told them what had happened and they told me that the guy was on prescription drugs. They found a photo in his wallet of him and his son. The boy looked just like me, so we assumed he thought I was him. I later learned that he had lost his son in a custody battle and went off the rails. He was taken away for treatment, and that was the last I saw of him. I got my driver's license shortly after, and have never been on a bus since.